so now I've washed the whole skin and I rinsed it, and you have to rinse it really well to get rid of all the soap residue. And it takes quite a bit of water, and you really have to move the hair around and really rinse it out. And then once it's done, you kind of have to help it dry a little bit by squeegeeing out the water. And the way I do that, just with my hands, I would just push a little bit on the hide. I don't put all my body weight on it because otherwise it may tear out the skin. But just with the weight of my hands, I just push down like this all the way through. And it's just incredible the amount of water that's retained by the hair. So, if you squeegee it out, it will help it immensely dry. And then I let it dry, and it's been drying for 2 days now. It just dried out this morning. And yeah, you have to fluff it out once in a while and just kind of, let the air get in, because otherwise it's pretty good insulation. And after washing it, it still looks pretty dirty, but that's when you have to brush it out. And I just got this from the pet store. You can buy hand carders for wool. Those, I don't know that it works so good with very heavy hair. And they recommended that at the pet store, and it works really good. It has rotating pins so that it doesn't tear the hair, and it's strong, and it goes really deep to comb out the hair. And it costs only $10 compared to $40 for the hand carder. So that's kind of what I recommend to brush out the skin. It will make a big difference in how clean this will look. Some of the wool will tear out, and I just save the wool, put it in a bag for later use. And you'll see that just brushing it out will just make the wool look a lot cleaner than what it was before. And so I'm going to keep on cleaning this whole thing until it's well brushed out, and all the little water that's stuck to the hair that's still kind of dirty will kind of be removed. And then I'm going to wash it again and rinse it again and dry it again and brush it again. And after that, the hide should be clean enough. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll see you later. Okay, so now we have a pretty clean hide. We washed it twice, rinsed it twice, and brushed it twice. And I want to point out again that it's very important to wait until the hide is 100% dry before you start brushing it. And you really have to put your fingers in there and touch the hide from this side, because there's a lot of moisture that stays at the base of the hair. And you gotta wait until it's really, really dry, because otherwise the hair will pull out. So now that I'm done with this side, we're going to be working on the other side. So I'm going to flip it, and we'll deal with the salt. Okay, so now we're back on the salt side, and so we're going to want to remove all the salt and remove all the blood that might be on there or anything else that the salt absorbed. And I do that first with just a scrubby sponge, an old scrubby sponge, just to take off the large chunks of salt and whatever comes off easily. And you don't want to do that near your plants, because all the salt is going to drop to the ground and probably kill your plants. And I'm actually leaning against a dead tree right now, so I'm pretty good. So, but think about that. If you're leaning against a live tree, it's probably not going to enjoy the salt. And so I'll just scrub that corner real quick and show you. Okay, so that pretty much removed all the salt, and now we're down to the hide. And then I take this Primus stone, and this is a nice looking stone, a natural stone. You can get them from the drugstore. They'll probably look like bricks instead of like a stone. Or you can also use sandpaper, works really good. You don't want a very coarse sandpaper, not a very fine one either. Probably around, 200 to 300 grit would be pretty ideal, I think. And I'm pretty much just going to scrub the skin just to abrade it a little bit, which is going to make it softer and also get rid of all this blood and stuff. And it doesn't take a whole lot. And when you get to, so you see when the skin is really smooth, that's kind of what you have to break up. And once it starts kind of doing this little, what do you call it, lint things, then you've kind of scrubbed it enough, and you don't need to scrub it any more than that. You could actually scrub, all the way through, so don't over scrub it. So as soon as it starts to be, have a softer kind of texture to it, a little linty, then you've scrubbed it enough. So I'm gonna keep on removing all the salt everywhere, and then scrubbing it all with the pumice stone, and then we'll just cut it out.